Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and in this video right here, I'm going to tell you exactly why saving money does not work. And just to clarify here, saving money is important, but is it going to get you financial freedom? Is it going to have money work for you while you sleep? The answer is no, obviously. And the advice I got all the time from my mom when I was growing up was always, Tommy, you need to save money. You need to save if you want to be wealthy in the future. And in reality, don't blame my mom. She just did not know anything really about investing and also alternatives when it comes to what you should do instead of just, for example, just keeping your money saved. In this video, I'm going to break everything down. And by the way, the goal here is to take you from just saving money to actually having a whole-blown plan to actually build financial freedom. Now, to me, personally, financial freedom is saying, hey, I have a paid-off home, I have a lot of money in investments, I have no debt, and on top of that, I can have a vacation whenever I want to, I don't have to work a job I hate, and I can just do whatever I want. And I'm not afraid of getting fired or anything crazy. That is my definition of financial freedom. If you have a different one, comment down below, let me know. But that is what this video right here is going to be about. Not just saving, but what is actually the alternative. Now, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, also dismantle the like button, okay? It helps a lot. So thank you guys so much for liking this video right here. Now, the very first thing is, guys, that obviously, the first step to building wealth is always going to involve saving money, right? Tommy, this sounds so stupid and counterintuitive because you just said basically saving money doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, but hear me out here, okay? The definition of saving money is basically every time you get paid, saving money is the money you set aside that you're not going to use for your consumer expenses. For example, like paying for your shelter, the home you live, utilities, groceries, transportation. The extra money is the money that you actually go ahead and save. So if you never have any savings, you can never go ahead and invest. You can never go ahead and build any wealth. So in some shape or form, you are going to need to have some savings. But by standard format, here is what I'm not saying. I'm not telling you, hey, put money under your mattress and save it there, because obviously that's not going to work. Now, why does it not work? Well, specifically, it's going to be because of inflation. Now, you probably heard this word here and there, especially today, because basically inflation is a little higher right now because basically the government went ahead and printed a bunch of money. Now, very simple explanation here, okay? Inflation is basically the buying power of the dollar or any currency actually going down. So basically, whatever money you have today, like right now, I guarantee you that, for example, in 3 to 5 years, you're not going to be able to buy the same amount of things that you usually could. That's why basically, back in the days, your parents would grab, for example, $100 and go to the grocery store and come back with enough groceries for like 2 weeks or an entire month. But today, you grab $100 and go to Whole Foods or, for example, Trader Joe's, and you come back, for example, with 5 items, okay? That is inflation. It's the dollar losing its value. Well, another fun example here, guys, is also, you guys know like those gumball machines, like when you go to like a barber shop or to a salon or any store out there and there's like a gumball machine right there, or an airport. I used to love those, okay? Well, you get a quarter, you put it in, you do the machine thing, you crank it, and then boom, 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 you get a gumball. Well, guess what? That gumball machine, it used to be only a penny back, for example, like 30, 40 years ago. That's the idea there, okay? So as time progresses, the money you have right now, for example, under your mattress is going to lose its buying power. And that's why just saving money by itself makes no sense. That's why you have to do something else. And by the way, for everyone out there says, hey, Tommy, I just don't trust the stock market. I just don't trust banks. I just don't trust government. I just don't trust anything. The answer is, the currency is created by the government, right? And in reality, the government lends money to the banks, right? And on top of that, you have to be able to trust the stock market because basically the stock market is almost the entire economy of the US, right? So if that crashes, literally the entire United States is almost done, right? Because that's the whole concept. My point is, don't be so distrustful. I realize that basically things I don't trust usually are things I really fully don't understand. And that's why the goal here is to break everything down. Okay, Tommy, all right, I get it. So if saving money by itself is not going to be the answer, then what am I supposed to do instead? Well, the answer is very simple. In my opinion, okay, and this is basically what I do also, because by the way, everything I'm telling you here is what I personally do also. Now, in my opinion, money in some way is supposed to give you security. It's supposed to make you feel safe. Now, how do you get that safety net? How do you feel safe? Well, when you go into a car, you feel safe. Why? Because you know for a fact this car is safe. You also put on a seatbelt and you also have an airbag. So if things do go wrong, guess what? Most likely you're gonna be fine. However, financially, most people just roll into the car, no airbag, no seatbelt, and on top of that, no steering wheel. And all they have is just the gas pedal and just press it, okay? That's people, for example, in America, usually, right? Why? Because they have no financial plan, they have no budget, so no direction really, and they don't know where they're going. And they don't also have, for example, an emergency account. So they don't have like a seatbelt to finances, right? So you need to be able to have that to make sure, for example, that everything is going to be just fine. So the first step, okay, once you have savings, okay, and the only way to have savings is to have a budget. And the only budget you need is called a bare knuckle budget. What does that mean? It means basically a budget to take care of your needs initially. Eventually, you can add, for example, a few wants here and there, but initially, all you need are basically your needs. What does that mean? You have shelter, which should not be more than 33% of your monthly income. You have also utility, like light, gas, water, also internet, because that's a necessity, like at least in the 21st century. You also have groceries, no more than $200 per person. And then lastly, you have transpo. You should not have a Mercedes on a lease. You should not have a Lexus on a lease. You should not have any vehicle on a lease, okay? The only way to buy a vehicle initially is going to be you buy it used and you pay cash for it, okay? If you can only afford $1,000 vehicle, at least that's your vehicle. If it breaks down, okay, you can buy another one and so on, okay? But the answer is buy used, do not buy new. Because again, that depreciates like crazy, loses a ton of value. Initially, in the end, you'll be able to buy a new vehicle, but once you're actually wealthy and once you have the money to actually do so. So the very beginning is going to be your savings. Once you have a budget, should be going towards what? Should be going towards eliminating your debts first. Because if you're paying a credit card company 18%, right? Crazy. And you're making, for example, in the stock market on your retirement accounts, maybe like 10, 12%, how the heck are you supposed to make money? The answer is you don't. So pay off all your debts using the avalanche method, everything except, for example, your mortgage, if you do have that. The avalanche method basically means you pay the debt with the highest APR, the highest interest, the most expensive one, because this way you get to save money. Now, once you're done with your debt, what do you do next? Well, your money is supposed to grant you security, right? Safety. That airbag, that seatbelt in a car, that steering wheel. Well, what do? You need to save up for emergencies. Now, me personally, I only have 6 months worth of expenses, okay? Now, you could do 3 months, which is fine. So if you lose your job, you have 3 months to pay your rent, pay all your bills, and basically figure things out and get another job. Now, some people that I know, they have 12 months. Some people have, for example, even 2 years worth. Now, that right there is a little extreme, not for me, honestly, but I might push it up to a year. But initially, all you need really is 3 months. It won't take you more than 3 months to go out there and actually find a job. So you need to save up at least 3 months worth of emergencies or expenses. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tell me, if I'm saving money up, I pay off my debt, I have to make an emergency account, I'm not investing, I'm losing out on compound interest. Yes, but I don't want you to be the person that's investing while they have a bunch of debt, which is basically slicing all their profits because they're actually not making money because they're paying somebody more money. And on top of that, I don't want you to be the person that's investing with no seatbelt or basically airbag. And when things go wrong, lose their job, break a leg, medical bills, they have to sell their investments. That's not what I want for you. So I'd rather you pause right now before you go into investing. Now, once you have all these things right here, a full-blown emergency account, I know, you're afraid of inflation hitting it, okay? But in reality, yes, the emergency account slowly but surely is going to be worth less and less and less. But the point is, it's just supposed to be based off your bills. So if your bills are increasing because of inflation, the answer is you keep adjusting it as time goes on, okay? Now, the next step obviously is going to be investing. And the big thing and the big problem with investing is that usually people don't really know exactly how much money to actually invest. And if you're like me, you kind of get very excited about investing and you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna invest all of my extra money, all of my extra savings. Now, by this point, most likely, again, you're debt free, you have an emergency account, and you're like, well, all my extra money, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna go ahead and invest it. However, that is not the right tactic. Why? Because if you invest a lot of money that's basically unusual, but then you have to pause it, well, that's not the idea. And although investing is great, it's all about LTT, right? Long-term team here. So the idea is you're going to have money invested. It's pretty obvious, right? That money is going to grow, and it's going to keep compounding. However, that's not your only priority, because once you paid off your debt, once you have an emergency account, you should only be investing between 10 to 20% of your income. But Tommy, if I do that, I still have money left over. I should just grab that money and invest it. The answer is no. You should use that money for a down payment for a home if you're ready to go ahead and buy a home. If you're not, well, save for the down payment now. So when you are ready, then you can go ahead and buy a home. Why? Because usually buying is going to be better than renting in the long term. It's pretty obvious, pretty common sense. We all know that. Now, that means when you buy a home, how do you buy it, right? Well, the idea is you use your savings, for example, to save up a minimum of a 10% down payment for a home. Now, the home you buy it on a 15-year mortgage. On top of that, the home you buy cannot exceed 30% of your monthly income. Now, if you follow these rules, it means, for example, the home you buy is only going to be around a third of your income, which means if things don't go your way, or for example, you lose your job, you're still going to be able to basically cover that if you get, for example, a part-time or a little gig here and there, okay? That's why I say this. Now, once you buy this home, most likely, you should still have money after investing, for example, into your Roth IRA and also into your 401k and getting that free money from your employer. Now, what do you do with the extra money? You put all that extra money towards your mortgage. That way, you're not done in 15 years. You're done, for example, in 8 to 10 years. So in 8 to 10 years, you have a lot of money invested, great, but you also have a paid-for home, which means your biggest expense is no longer your biggest expense because basically you paid it off in full. Now, that to me is my plan and why saving money doesn't just work. Because, for example, you could be person A, where basically you have debt, for example, you don't have an emergency account and you don't really have a home yet, you're renting, but you're still investing money. And maybe, for example, 10, 20 years from now, you have some money in there, but you still have a lot of debt. You still have no real concrete investments, not that much, because basically, if the home is paid off, you could have basically invested a lot more money. That's the core idea. Or you could be person B, where now with your savings, you used it for buying your financial freedom a lot faster. And now in a few years, 8, 10 years, and again, LTT, okay, long-term team. It's all about long-term, okay? That's what we do here. So 8, 10 years or 8 to 15 years, you are 100% debt-free, including the home. You have a lot of money in investments. And on top of that, you can basically invest more if you want to, have more fun, go on vacation, buy the car you want to buy it brand new, buy it used, whatever you want to do. But it's very different than waiting until you're like 65 or 70 years old, finally retiring. And the average person has like less than $10,000 in like retirement funds. So that's not who I want you to be, okay? That's the idea. Or you can say, Tommy, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to save for the next 30, 40 years, $300 every single month, right? So times 12 a year, that's 3,600 times 30. Well, that's only around 108,000. However, if you invested the same amount of money every single month, for example, at a 10% return in an index fund, what I invest into, maybe for example, the S&P 500 or a full-blown portfolio. By the way, If you want to see exactly what I invest into, I have a link down below. I'm on finance. When you click that link, you see exactly what I invest into. You can invest right there into your Roth IRA and into your retirement account using the link down below. And you sign up, you also get like $30 or $10 if I'm not mistaken. But the answer is, instead of having this money in 30 years, you would have in investments somewhere around like $683,000. That's 6 times this amount. And that's why investing is going to be a lot better than just plain saving. Now remember, this money right here is only gonna have, for example, this amount of buying power, okay? Not as much as you probably think, because again, don't forget about inflation. And that's why, guys, overall, that is why saving money is not going to work, because it's just not enough. And that's why investing is not just going to work, because again, it's not enough. You got to pay off your debts, have security with emergency accounts, you buy a home, you pay it off quickly, by the way, while you're also investing. That way, by the time you're done with this home, you also have a large nest egg right there to take care of you. And that's awesome, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Comment down below, though, and let me know exactly, hey, what do you think about this plan? Does it make sense? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you want to add something else to it? Comment down below. Let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. On top of that, if you want to call me directly for 30 minutes for free, well, join me on my third channel called TommyBryson, where I basically post there every day also, and I take calls for free. Schedule a call down there, link down below. But if you want to join me on my Patreon, where I post exclusive content and I talk to you for 15 minutes whenever you want to, the answer is also join the Patreon, link down below. Also, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. More content here. Also, click my face right here, so turn around. See you guys tomorrow. And as always,